Hey guys, welcome back. Uh, I'm just going through some boxes, trying to figure out what I have. Throwing a few things on the table. Figuring out what I'm going to do. Got the Dungeons and Dragons stuff, some old Warhammer stuff. And getting into this craze of dragons again. So I've just been putting these together. These finally dried. These are bones. They're pretty good figs. I like them. They're polymer instead of a polystyrene. So I have to stain them. This one right here. Of course, you need this glue in order to make them work. I got the Instacure as well. But it's pretty neat. I love the detail on these things. It's just painting them that's tough. What I usually do is I'll stain them and then I'll spray paint them. And the stain I use over here, I'll just dip them. I'll dip them in the wood finish, and then I will prime them. That's an Umber Hulk right there. But so now what ends up happening is, with it stained and then spray painted with the primer, I'm able to get the paint to adhere to it better. It's a great dragon. I gotta get some filler there, but it's a nice dragon. And these are pretty cheap. It's a smaller red dragon. And what I end up doing, what was I gonna do? Yeah. This I was gonna show you. In here, what I do is I utilize this stuff. You pick it up at Walmart. That's a gloss, so you got to be careful. This is a primer. This is flat. The flat I use for primer, but this I mistakenly grabbed this, and basically you can pick these up at Walmart or Home Goods or whatever, some like Home Depot, and they're only like $1 each or $1.09, so it's pretty cheap to use. They come in white, gray, black, but you got to be careful because if you get the gloss, it's a regular paint gloss, so it's not really conducive to priming your stuff. So I'm throwing together, selling some comic books online. Now this was the book that I had picked up with the French helmet and the this book here, the British Soldier, which was a pretty cool book. This here is Live Firing German Automatic Weapons of World War II by R. Bruce. I picked this book up for $5. Basic, let's see. The 9mm Bergmann machine pistol. That's a machine pistol? Really? Wow. It was a relatively expensive way of giving shock troops a high volume of fire at short range. Note the 32-round snail drum magazine developed for the Luger pistol. The success of the MP-18 during the last campaigns of the Great War and post-war internal strife showed the utility of the submachine guns for specialized applications and led directly to the development of the MP-38. initially for airborne and mechanized troops. And we have the American designed Lewis light machine gun, modified for .303-inch ammunition, was used in huge numbers by the British Army from 1950 down to the platoon level. The large barrel shroud gives the false impression of a water cooling jacket. In fact, the Lewis was a relatively light 27 pounds and efficient air-cooled weapon, dubbed the Rattlesnake by the German troops obliged to face it. Captured guns are said to have been highly prized among the German assault units for their lightweight and firepower, and years later the Lewis operating system was copied by Rheinmetall designers in their innovative FG-42. Photographed in the anti-aircraft role during Reichswehr maneuvers in summer of 1927, the MG-08/18 was an air-cooled version of the 0815, but lightening it by removing the water jacket degraded the gun's sustained fire capability, as changing overheated barrels took several minutes. The Mauser. The original Mauser from a pistol. The magazine release button is located on the right side of the receiver. Depressing it allows the magazine to be withdrawn from the gun. The sturdy 20-round box magazine is formed from heavy gauge sheet metal, and note the machined steel cartridge follower. Here's a clip. This is a magazine, and this is a clip. That is not a clip. This is a clip. Oh look, a 10-round stripper clip can now be inserted into the locating grooves cut into the barrel extension. Under full auto fire from a scant 15-meter range, the paper Red Army officer had little to fear from the Schnellführer pistol. A large percentage of shots went above and to the right of the target. Wow, look at that. All right there. More satisfactory results were obtained when firing in a semi-automatic mode from a more stable kneeling position. This stack of cinder blocks was quickly reduced to a crumbled freeform sculpture, and moving back to about 30 millimeters did little to reduce the number of hits. While the military standard Mauser 7.63 cartridge is generally called powerful as pistol rounds go, its penetrating power is unsatisfactory except against soft targets. Wow. Well, guys, if you're into the mechanics of German weaponry, this book is pretty cool. So I grabbed this book for $5. The Red Army was lavishly equipped with the PPSH-41 submachine gun, which used a bottleneck 7.62 millimeter high-velocity cartridge. Issued since 1930, this was almost identical to the standard German Mauser 7.63 millimeter pistol round. Although only slightly more powerful than the MP38 series, captured PPSH-41s were highly prized for their 71-round magazine and for their ability to keep operating under the worst conditions of weather, abuse, and neglect. Steiner and what's the name of that? The Iron Cross. Steiner has one. You know, it even tells you how to load. Although functional and cleverly designed, the skeleton stock does not unfold quickly, requiring constant thumb pressure on its release button until fully extended. The view from the ejection port of a round in a magazine when the gun is ready for action. The MP40/1 suffers from lack of dust cover to keep dirt and weather out of the mechanisms when the gun is cocked. Ooh. Machine Yewa 34. I know I'm probably butchering that. In June 1944, reconstructed in a burnt-out building in Vitebsk, Russia, a lone MG-34 gunner of the 6th Field Division, Luftwaffe, waits for the advancing enemy. His left hand keeps the bus stock in position against his shoulder, and the gun is being used with the bipod mounted nearest for the muzzle, for both accuracy and firing and ease of movement. Within each lie a pair of 6x30 binoculars issued to MG crews, the spare barrel carrier, and a 50-round belt drum. On the right, our gunner in uniform, splinter pattern camouflage jacket and helmet cover for an infantryman in a Luftwaffe Field Division, on the march with his MG-34 balanced on one shoulder, in the manner shown in so many contemporary photographs. It balances comfortably in the collarbone pocket. Note that the gunner's issue sidearm for close-quarter self-defense is the Walther P38 semi-automatic. My old chief used to carry a Walther P38. This is his favorite little toy. MG-34 top cover closed, showing the two-part trigger marked E for Einzelführer, single fire and semi-auto, and D for Dauerführer, continuous full fire auto. The safety lever is just above here, set to F for Führer, and the rotated down, it's exposed as S for seeker or safe, seeker, I don't know. The fine machine work on the receiver is apparent, and the round-ended bar to the left is grooved and below the rear sight base and the barrel jacketed latch. Okay, I'm reading like I'm in grade school again here. The business end, showing more fine machine work on the barrel jacket and flash hider muzzle booster. Note also the folding front sight the front sight post and blade. The ratchet and latch ahead of the base of the sight prevent the flash hider becoming unscrewed. The front bipod attachment point slides in the machine grooves. Wow. Look at that. 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds of Headfield manganese steel proof to resist penetrations at up to 240 meters per second. A U.S. Army M1 helmet after a close-range burst from an MG-34. Whoa, that's scary. The MG-42. Wow, that's pretty big. Now look at that one. MG-42. From a famous Battle of the Bulge film sequence posed by a German combat cameraman near Pottau in 18 December 1944, men of the 2nd Company SS Panzer Grenadier Regiment 1 from the Liebestad Adolf Hitler Division, looting abandoned vehicles of the U.S. 14th Cavalry Group. The MG-42 gunner, an ammo belt around his neck, is also armed with a fighting knife clipped in the neck of his smock. Oh, right there, okay. and holds a Belgian-made Browning high-power 9mm semi-automatic pistol. Die Wehrmacht. Cover of $14, 1944 issue of Die Wehrmacht captioned as showing troops on the Arno front in Italy. The gunner carries the MG-42 slung in reverse behind him, and his assistant also carrying an ammo belt around his neck and a spare barrel. U.S. Army Ordnance test fires an MG-42. Ammo cans. Hitler's buzzsaw. The MG-42. Effects on target were devastating with even the shortest of bursts, unleashing 20 to 30 rounds, while the way they gun absorbed the recoil well. They hammers relentlessly at the gunner's shoulder. The sound of the fast-firing MG-42 is quite unmistakable, a ripping blast in which individual shots are impossible to distinguish. German training manuals recommend this method to obtain reasonably accurate fire at moderate range in assault. These days earplugs are mandatory for unenviable job of the assistant gunner. In World War II, combat such precautions were rarely taken. Look at that. Ooh, a melodramatic but valid setup of demonstrate the strike of a brief burst of a MG-42 fire on a 3-gallon paint can. Disassembled.